we're going to pull out a power scaling video today. I thought it'd be fun to talk about the top 10 strongest characters in Arcane right now, just so we can narrow down who we can have more expectations about coming in Season 2. Who should we watch out for? And if any of these matchups do happen, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right on who comes out on top. Obviously, narratively, if the Arcane creators want to push a story, different characters are going to win. But as of current feats and whatever, this is how I'd rank the top 10 characters in Arcane. And if anyone gets pissy over power scaling, then write down in the comments and I'm going to argue with you. Yeah? How's that sound? So I'd like to give some dishonorable mentions first. The dishonorable mentions go to the enforcers. The enforcers, all they do is really pick on little children and unarmed Zonites. They don't have any feats. Anytime they try to do anything, they just get destroyed. Another dishonorable mention goes to Victor. I see people in the Arcane community talking about how Victor augmented himself to become strong. We have no sign of that. Victor, at most, he augmented his leg and he augmented his arm. His torso and his head, where the actual vitals are in a human anatomy, if you get stabbed there, you die. So Victor, if he gets stabbed in his torso, in his head, he's gonna die. Maybe his arms and his legs have extra resistance. We hear a clanging sound when Victor steps with his new hex leg, so it might be actually harder, his new leg. But people also said that Victor survived the explosion from the hex core that killed Sky. I mean, that's just misinterpreting the situation. The hex core is alive. It doesn't want to kill Victor. It chose to eat Sky for its own reasoning. So yeah, Victor's not that strong. He still has a disease. He still probably gets one shot by like kid powder, okay? Honorable mentions actually go to one, Mel. We haven't seen her fight, so we actually don't know her combat capabilities, but she does have a magical artifact that is gonna come and play season 2 in the beginning to save some people in the council from Jinx's nuke. Another honorable mention goes to the chem tanks. They are armored. They're in a suit. They are breathing in Shimmer. We know Shimmer has life-prolonging capabilities, so the chem tanks are pretty strong. They blitzed a bunch of enforcers, which isn't that much of a feat, but the enforcers are like average human combatant, and the chem tanks are able to blitz them, overcoming human reaction time. So I think that's pretty impressive. But immediately after they killed all the enforcers, they like slowed down a lot for even Jayce to react to them. But that's fine. Honorable mentions aside, let's dive into the top 10 list. Starting off with Deckard. His kit, he just took prototype Shimmer and that turned him into a monster. But the prototype Shimmer, we see how big of a threat it is. Even Deckard, some random kid taking Shimmer, already puts him top 10 in the burst. It makes sense why Stoka wants to produce a lot of Shimmer just to feed all these random Zonites, so he can, if he wars against Piltover, like, he's gonna be a threat. He could start a revolution, but Stoka just lounges around and doesn't really do anything. But Deckard, his strength is okay. We see him fighting Vander. At the very beginning, he was like one-shotting all these enforcers. He was one-shotting Benzo, which is somewhat impressive. Benzo looks like he has a lot of HP. I don't really care about the enforcers. Enforcers get one shot like every other day. Yeah, he has okay strength. When later he was tired out from his second dose of Shimmer, he was standing on equal ground with Vander, and that is also pretty good. His defense is okay. He is able to take a lot more hits than Vander was able to take. He has high HP. Anyone using Shimmer, they're gonna have insane survivability, insane health bars, just because that's just what happens when you take Shimmer. His intelligence is straight up bad. When he's fighting Vi, he picks her up. He could have just thrown Vi off the bridge. Same thing with Vander. There was a moment where he picked up Vander. Could have thrown Vander off the bridge, but he just threw him on top of the bridge. So no intelligence feats, no tactics. He's just relying on pure instinct. His speed is slow. He had some very good initial speed feats by blitzing the enforcers, blitzing Benzo, but after that initial burst, we haven't seen anything like that from him. He slowed down considerably on the second dose, and his special category, I gave him time. He has low time. Deckard, he was basically about to die right after the second dose of Shimmer. He can't use the monster form for that long time, so time is low. He can only be in the monster form for a short amount of time. So that's a good trade-off, right? You turn some random junkie into top 10 in the Arcane verse currently, and the drawback is that they just can't use it for a long period of time. Number 9, I actually put Sevika. Her strength is good. She has good damaging capabilities. She's able to cut through wood pretty easily. She's able to cut through metal with her shimmer blade. When it comes to long range attacks, the damaging capability does fade off. When she was using her long range slashes, she wasn't able to damage metal and was able to like barely damage wood. So I don't think her long range slashes are that much of a threat. Her defense is okay. She's able to block off some bullets from Caitlyn, but that was only on her arm. I'm pretty sure everywhere else she's just take damage normally. Her HP is okay. She's able to exchange a lot of hits with Vi. Her intelligence is alright. I haven't seen her use that many tactics in her fight scenes, and her speed is pretty slow. She's just a normal human. She caught Vi off guard with introducing the blade and introducing her mechanical arm, but after that Vi was able to easily react to all of her movements. What Sevika does have going for her is she has good experience. She knows her way around Zon, and she probably got into her fair bit of scuffles. That fight experience was what really like helped her combat against Vi. However, her experience isn't the most. Probably Vander had more experience than her, and Vi was able to probably have equal fight experience to her just fighting every day in the prisons. Moving on to number 8, we have Vander. I actually put Vander above Sevika. You might think, oh, Sevika has a blade. She's going to destroy Vander any day. I really doubt that. See, she was struggling to cut through Vi's Hex gauntlets, and I think if she just tried to cut into Vander with her blade, it'd stop at bone, and Vander could just like catch the blade and punish Sevika pretty badly. Vander's strength is okay. He's comparable to just Shimmer Deckard. Nothing amazing. His defense is low. Vander doesn't wear any armor. He doesn't wear anything, so he's gonna get destroyed. Maybe he could block some stuff with his gloves on, but we haven't seen anything. We haven't seen him doing anything of the sort in season 1. His HP is incredible, actually. Probably one of the highest healths in Arcane. Vander is extremely bulky, especially in episode 3. Vander was like in the front lines when he took the Hex Gem explosion, and then he had Metal Slam onto him. He was able to get back up, take a bunch of hits from Shimmered Up Deckard, who was one-shotting Enforcers, one-shotting Benzo. He was taking a lot of shots from someone able to one-shot all these characters, and he was able to take like 5 stabs from Silco and still keep on living enough to take Shimmer. So Vander's HP is crazy good. Vander's intelligence is also good. Dude, this guy walked into a fight against Enforcers who are carrying guns with just some boxing gloves, and he was winning. Okay, Vander knows what he's doing in the fight. Vander's speed is slow. He's a big guy, and his youth is low. Vander's aging. He's on the older side because Vander kind of fell off. He's got the dad belly after his initial introduction, so age kind of caught up with him, and that might be working against him in the fight. Number 7 is gonna have to be Vi. Vi, I actually put her above Vander with the Hex Gauntlets. Those Hex Gauntlets are carrying her, okay? Her strength is good. She's able to be comparable to Sevika. Sevika does a lot more slashing damage. Vi does a lot more crushing force, bludgeoning force, which I think is specifically good against the Chem Tanks. The Chem Tanks, if you strike the blade against them, it probably would do less damage just because they're armored. But Vi is able to like crush through the armor and like break the Chem Tank's bones underneath it. So that's why I think it was a pretty good matchup for her. Her defense is the highest in the series. With her Hextech shield, even Sevika couldn't cut through that. And Sevika was able to cut through metal, so I don't see anything that's going to get through that. Vi's shield can probably let her tank a point-blank Jinx explosions. Her HP, Vi's HP is okay, comparable to Sevika. They are exchanging hits in a high difficulty first match. Her intelligence is also okay. Vi tends to rush into things. She doesn't use that many tactics. She relies more on like instinct and adaptability. When Sevika says you lack patience, Vi immediately gained patience and started reacting to everything Sevika did and counter-striking. So yeah, because of that, Vi has some good speed. She was able to catch a Chem Tank off guard and blitz it. And we see Vi has like really good dodging when it just comes to any sort of attacking. So Vi's speed is on the higher side. What really sets Vi apart is her high grit. Every time she gets knocked down, she gets back up. Like Spider-Man. In the fight with Sevika, she got a crap ton of time. She got stabbed, kept on moving. The second fight, she was also getting like destroyed by Sevika. She kept on getting back up. Vi has something to fight for. She's fighting for powder. And I think with that mindset, nothing's going to stop Vi. Coming to number 6 is going to be Jayce. I actually put Jayce stronger than Vi. He has the strongest damage in the series. Well, one of the strongest. With his Hex Hammer, that is a Hex Tech weapon. Vi, her Atlas Gauntlets, they're more built as a tool. They were built as a tool first. Jayce, he made his hammer with the intention of it being a weapon, so it has a million different features on how to kill you. So that hammer is actually carrying Jayce through all the fights. I think in the fight between Jayce and Vi, Jayce will probably come out top. His intelligence is good. He knows the ins and outs of probably any hex tech contraption, so he knows how to counter it, and he knows how to use his own hex hammer to its max potential. Jayce's defense is low. He doesn't wear a lot of armor. He was getting scratched up pretty good by the chem tanks. His HP is good just because he's a fit guy. His speed is going to be on the slower side. He uses a heavy weapon. Even though it's being made lighter because of hex tech, the way he handles that thing is still pretty slow. Jayce has probably the most technologically advanced character in the whole series. That Hex Hammer is actually doing all the heavy lifting for him. I actually put Jayce hard and Vi also because Jayce has good instincts. This is his first fight against chem tanks who are destroying all these other regular humans, but Jayce was able to react to them and just use his hammer accordingly and like parry the stuff, counter strike. He was doing a pretty good job as his first fighting showing. So Jayce knows his way around the block. Pretty impressive, honestly. But I think in the fight between him and Vi, like the long range options of the Hex Hammer is probably gonna make the difference, and he's probably gonna defeat Vi like 7 out of 10 times. Number 5, actually Ekko. Ekko's strength is pretty low. Even though he whacked Jinx across the face with a wrench, Jinx was still able to stand. He punched Jinx a few times. Jinx isn't also like the most high HP, high defense individual. Echo's able to subdue her, but I don't think that's really because of his strength. His damage isn't that high. His defense is pretty high. On the higher end of everyone in Arcane, he was able to tank a bullet from Marcus. Also, his hoverboard is able to block a lot of the bullets. His HP is okay. He tanked an explosion and had a broken leg, so I think that's like average amount of health. His intelligence is probably the highest in the series, and he has insane battle IQ. Ekko, his adaptability is crazy good. He can, every time he's just in a fight, he just knows exactly what to do. He counters everything the other person is doing. Unless he's caught off guard, like with Powder, but I see Ekko in any fight against Jayce, he'll probably know how to counter his hammer. Against Vi, know how to find a weakness in her Atlas gauntlets. Ekko just has crazy adaptability. And Ekko's speed is also the highest in the series. His whole fighting style is jumping in, rushing them, and getting out. Ekko is the top contender in the series. I think we should watch out for him, especially once he gets whatever he's working on with Heimerdinger. That's going to really push him up there a lot. Number 4 is going to be Jinx. Even though Ekko defeated Jinx, Jinx held herself back. She could have used the Gatling gun against Ekko, but she chose to just use her pistol. Anyways, Jinx also had the Shimmer buff. After her surgery, her senses got heightened and she got a lot faster, and that might be just the difference to beat out Ekko. Her strength, her damage is probably the highest in the burst. With the nuke, we don't know the capabilities of her rocket launcher, but she has a rocket launcher, she has guns, she's crazy kitted out. More like mid-range, long-range attacks, but long-range attacks, but Jinx probably has Jinx is Namrata. She could probably like dash out the most amount of damage in the series. Her defense is low. She doesn't wear anything. She gets cut up a bit against the firelights. Her HP is low also. Any real good hit on her, if you can close in the distance, that'll take her out of the battle. Her intelligence is pretty high. She has very, very good instincts. She can react very well in any fight she's in. Her speed is also very high. We see her just basically teleporting around and freaking people out just in her ordinary life. And held at gunpoint by Caitlyn, she was able to throw her off and catch her off guard and take the gun back from Caitlyn. Her unpredictability is maxed out. She basically has control over every single situation because you don't know what to expect from her. She can pull out like some explosive butterflies just to beat a whole army of enforcers. But that unpredictability might be a drawback for her. Sometimes, like, she's not the most mentally stable person, and she might get caught off guard because of that. Number 3, I'm putting Warwick. We don't know too much about Warwick, so let's not get into spoilers. So I think Warwick is probably comparable to Shimmered Up Vander. Shimmered Up Vander, especially with the Shimmer buff. Vander, the strength is going to be crazy high. He one-shot Shimmered Up Deckard, who has the Shimmer HP buff. The defense is going to be okay. You know, average human being not wearing armor. He's just very bulky. The HP is going to be maxed out. Shimmered Up Vander, he has the crazy HP of Vander, plus the insane survivability of Shimmer. And like, even though Vander was like dying, he took a little bit of Shimmer, and this guy was able to like get up and like do crazy shit, do like a football tackle. Yeah, no one's killing that thing. You could probably take a Jinx rocket to the face and still keep standing. Intelligence is low. You're gonna have the Shimmer debuff. Mental stability also very low. Vander's not really that lucid. He was lucid enough to see like, hey, Vi, I need to save my daughter. But other than that, like he's not going to be using that many tactics in the fight. He's basically an animal. His speed is pretty high. You think for such a heavy guy, his speed is gonna be low, but no, he moves pretty fast. And also, let's talk about Warwick a little bit. Warwick is gonna be a wolf, so then wolves are pretty fast, right? So that's why his speed is gonna be high. Mental stability, yeah, it's gonna be low. Not very coherent. He's gonna have like a lot of conflicting thoughts in his head. A lot of like Jinx PTSD moments. So that is gonna be holding him back from a lot of fights. We'll see how Warwick plays out in season 2, but for the moment, I'm just substituting in Shimmered Up Vander because Shimmered Up Vander is probably gonna be like a less stable version of Warwick. Top two, the number two I think is the strongest in the verse currently. It's gonna be Ambessa. Ambessa, really high strength. Like just look at her. Her defense is good. She wears some armor. Her HP is going to be high. She's been through her fair share of battles and gotten out of them alive. She goes to war on the regular and she hasn't died yet. So her intelligence is going to be high. You just get a sense the way she carries herself around anyone in Piltover. In a fight, she knows exactly what to do. She has that experience. She has that battle IQ, and that's just gonna be dangerous to fight against. Her speed is good. She was able to blitz a little kid. Very, very, very impressive. And her authority is maxed out. She brought a whole army to Piltover. She's walking around Piltover like she's a council member. She's telling council members what to do. And Bessa's the number one person we should look out for in season 2. And she's gonna be a league champion, so that's how you know she's gonna be strong. And coming to number one, I'm not even joking here. It's gonna be the boy that Jayce killed. Okay, hear me out. His strength low. Okay, his intelligence unknown, but it's a kid, so we probably shouldn't expect too much intelligence. His speed is okay because he was able to rush past an enforcer and press a button. I mean, it's something. But what really stands out about the kid is his defense, his HP, and his tenacity. Dude, this guy takes hits like no other. He so Jayce with his Hex Blasts, he was one-shotting all of the chem tanks, which we know have good survivability, good defense. They were getting one-shot. This kid tanked an entire Hex shot. He was still standing. He looked barely phased. Jayce, when he took an explosion, Jayce immediately knocked out. Now this kid, he just stood like nothing happened, maybe a bit dazed, a bit disorientated, but the disorientation was his downfall. He stumbled and fell off like 1,000 stories, hit the floor. He took some mad damage from that, but he took a hex bullet, fell down 1,000,000 stories. He was still alive. He lived like for a long ass time. Think about how long it'll take for Jayce and Vi and all of the enforcers to walk all the way down there to look at the kid. He lived through all that, and he still stared Jayce in the eye for like 8 seconds before he passed out. I don't see Ambessa surviving that. I don't see Jinx surviving that. I don't see Vander surviving that. Dude, this boy is actually built different. Okay, how do you kill something that's unkillable? Maybe Ambessa might be able to kill him because Ambessa uses slashing damage, and I don't think this kid is going to be that resistant to slashing damage, but against any other sort of damage, dude, this kid has a beat. He's probably number one in the series. Sad to see him go so soon. If he grew up a little, he would be a real tough customer. But that's my top 10 list for the current Arcane characters who we should watch out for in Season 2. And I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any comments, any thoughts, leave them down, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Hopefully, it won't be as low effort as this one. I'll catch you guys in the next one.